Okay, I'm going to see if I could drop that into the Facebook live stream. It's Bill's fault. Yeah. Okay, guys, and there's no comments here. Okay. Stomach cats, okay. In Zoom here. Okay, you got the link to the Zoom thing. See if you can post this as soon as Michael gets into the room. You have the
Posted it.
It's not showing up in the chat.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
But your text saying you're going to post the Zoom link. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, there's a major delay. It's like almost a minute delay. And then I'll go in and say we had technical issues with the post.
Let's see. Here's Michael. View. Admit.
Okay, it's all taken care of. Did you close the live stream? It still says you're live streaming.
No, I didn't. Finish. Okay, that's done. Morris, Michael.
Hello, hello.
It's so much easier.
Yes, indeed.
What?
Remind everyone to mute unless they're talking, like asking questions.
Yeah, Morris, if you could mute.
Record.
Let's see, is it recording? It is automatically recording, so we are good. Let me post this link one more time in all the texts that I sent Christina.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Michael, you got to unmute yourself.
Yep. Hi there.
Hey.
How are you? That was fun.
Yeah. Not how I wanted to spend the last 30 minutes of my life, but hey, here we are.
Yeah. There we are. How you doing, Morris?
Do you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Good deal. Yeah, I sent the information for the Facebook thing to I don't know how many people. And I tried to send it through Facebook yesterday to tag everybody, and then it was supposed to automatically go to everybody. And then I looked today and all of the live links were pulled, so it didn't notify anyone.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
Michael.
Bill.
Stop.
Yes, let's talk shop.
How you been? What have you been working on lately?
Oh man. Well, I think got a book out there. That's I'll try and cover as many topics in that book as we can on the seminar. We can scratch the surface here today with some of that, but yeah, so it's doing well. I'm happy with it. I continue to incorporate all that stuff into my own training and training with my folks. It's a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on the Facebook side of things, I had your website and the book ready to just like pop on the screen. If you want, do you want to, okay. Here you go. Uh, do you want to go over to your site there and talk a little bit more about it? You
Um,
you could share the screen if you want.
I could do that, sure. I don't know if I need to share the screen to do that, but I
Okay.
can go. Maybe I can go to the Amazon page. Probably, maybe that's the better place to go.
Okay.
Let me find that. And hey, whoever might be on, if you have any questions about the book or what we're going to be doing at the seminar or anything remotely related to that, then please chime right in. Yeah, so there it is. So let me share this out. Okay, is that sharing?
Yes.
All right, so there's the Amazon product page. There's actually the main book here, and there's a condensed version. This book is pretty heavy. It goes into an awful lot of the physiological, psychological, metaphysical, spiritual, as well as all of the exercises related to to breathing and breath work. If you only want the exercises and nothing else, there's a condensed version that is basically a subset of things that are in the main book. So and nice description here. Got a write up from a few folks as testimonials, things like that. And then these, if you're on social media much, you may have seen these images floating around. I'm actually running some ads to further promote the book, and these are the same ads that are out there. And getting a lot of really great feedback, both from within the Systema community and from folks not in the Systema community. So that's a good thing, because a lot of what's in here goes beyond. I mean, yes, it's firmly grounded in Systema, but it goes above and beyond that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's the book. There's the Amazon page. If you don't have it already, you can go get it.
Yeah.
And yeah, as far as so at a high level, I'll talk about what we're going to do at the seminar, if that's okay, Bill.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
All right. So
But before you do that, I do want to say I got into your book.
okay.
I've read it, and you're absolutely correct. There is a ton of content in there as far as breathing exercises, the breath exercises that couple with, uh, I mean, how many different ways you thin sliced different ways and breathing exercises. It's just amazing as far as that goes. And I really enjoyed how you kind of bounce back and forth between the exercise and then the practical application of like you were saying, the physiological, biological, all of that kind of study of the breath work in conjunction with that. So I've got into the book, so I can absolutely testify for that. One of the things is how will somebody, because I didn't realize that there were two versions of the book, how would somebody that would want either the condensed version or the expanded version know? Because it's not necessarily evident up front that you would be getting.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good point. So, I mean, Amazon doesn't do a great job of it. Like you see right here where it says part of, that means it's part of a series.
Okay.
And if you scroll down, it also mentions as part of a series somewhere else. But yeah, if you go to this series page, then you can see, 2 books.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so the white version with the different cover, that's the condensed version. It's about a third of the size of the main book.
Got it. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Then I feel better that I got the expanded version. So we're good. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
good.
Okay.
And
You want to talk about what you're gonna look at the seminar?
sure, yeah. And by the way, I appreciate your feedback on getting the book and going through it. Your 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 interpretation of it in particular is I know we're going to talk more about it, but I'm happy to hear what you're getting from it. So yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I put the book together is for those of us that have done Systema for a long time. We know this stuff works, right? At least it works for me. It works for a lot of us, or else why would we keep doing it? And the fact that so much of it is predicated on the breathing techniques, and for me, it was always I'm one of those people, I got to know why, right? So it always had this kind of mystical kind of feeling to it. It was like, is it just a placebo effect or what? So for me, I started investigating. All right, what really happens when you're doing certain breathing techniques? What's going on inside the body? What's going on inside the head? Um, and as you can see, the book covers a lot of that, and we'll talk about that as well. And then, from there, it's the whole tension and relaxation thing, and how the breath is so important to controlling tension and relaxation, and how, since the part that I'm going to be doing at the seminar is focused on what we're calling strength. Strength comes from tension,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and Systema is very focused on relaxation. But for me, to fully understand relaxation, you have to explore tension.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of the coin, since I'm kind of a student of what's called the hard style kettlebell world. You may have heard of a guy called Pavel.
Mm-hmm.
um, and so I've been doing that type of kettlebells for I forget how long, and they're all about tension. But they give respect to relaxation. So anyhow, I kind of look at it as the Russian Tao, right? is You got the tension focused school of thought with the hard style kettlebells, and then Systema is the relaxation focused school of thought. And to me, they're two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found a way to blend them, I guess, combine them, um, so that you're getting the benefits of all of them, and each one therefore um, assists the other side of the coin.
Nice.
Oh.
Um, and were there more you wanted to dig into regarding the tension relaxation? Because
Mm-hmm.
I have some questions because I'm coming
Sure.
at it from the other end of the spectrum,
Uh-huh. Sure.
from the healing perspective and through my own injuries
Yep.
is how I found Systema.
Yep.
So there was this place, my background was judo. Yeah, I had that I guess you would consider as a hard style, hitting the ground over and over again is very abusive to the body, and I had a lot of injuries from that. Even injuries before that, before I got into judo, and I got to the point where I needed to figure out how to heal all these injuries that had built up over my life. And Systema was a big part of that from the relaxation standpoint.
Right.
Anytime I tried to do some sort of, and I got into kettlebells for a period, got into lifting weights for a period, but anytime I tried to do anything where I'd strengthen my body, I would get it to a point where I'd hit the ceiling and the injuries would sabotage
Yep.
my process. There were some deep-seated neurological stuff that happened when I was really young that it seemed like no matter what I did, I couldn't get around them or through them or over them in any ways without going into this really deep level of relaxation through changing the neurology.
Yep.
So it's working with the breath and tensegrity structure and all of the things that you talk about from a strength perspective. I was looking at it from a healing perspective.
Right.
So, to be honest, I haven't been able to reconcile the strength piece outside of body weight. So, whenever we get into the kettlebell conversation, lifting some sort of weight conversation, I find there's this glass ceiling or wall or something that I hit in terms of being able to move forward with any sort of training like that.
Yep. Now I can understand that, and we talked before. I have similar old injuries, right? And Systema was certainly a big part of my healing process. But I was also, really lucky in that my personal coach, the guy who taught me, kettlebells, Dr. Mark Chang. I mean, his motto is make every rep rehabilitative.
Okay.
I mean, that's because he's also a body worker.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I was really lucky to have him as my coach,
Mm-hmm.
and we wound up training together in Systema at Martin Wheeler School out in California too. So, but I guess I was lucky with that in that I had someone right from the beginning who, along with body weight and the Systema work, to use kettlebells as a way to improve your structure and build your body and not tear it down.
Mm-hmm.
Quality over quantity. And again, the breathing techniques are so significant to that, both in terms of preparing to do any type of strength work while you're doing the work, and then as a recovery technique. There's different, and we'll go over it in detail at the seminar. And we can talk about a little bit about it here too as well. Not that I don't want to keep selling the seminar, but there's a progression of when to do certain types of breathing techniques throughout a training session.
Mm-hmm. That's honestly what you said there regarding the every movement or every use of the kettlebell can be therapeutic. And that's kind of I guess because the books that I looked into for kettlebells were Pavel's. So there didn't seem to be that element included in the books that he had put together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mark was a student of Pavel. It's just, but because of his background, Mark's background, he really focused on the healing side.
mhm. And what was Mark's body work, like his angle?
He's Tuina traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture. But he's also got a lot of, modern physical therapy, additional training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Great. Let me see. Should we stop the screen sharing part?
Yeah.
Stop.
We've seen that long enough.
Yeah. Okay, we got a few people in the room now, which is nice. If anybody has questions, please type those in the chat and we will get to those. What happened to Lloyd? Lloyd's here. Morris, you don't have to worry anymore. Lloyd's with us.
Oh, hey, Michael.
I don't know Michael.
I do.
Oh, nice.
He also knows the gentleman I was just speaking of.
Oh, he knows Michael Chang?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
You train out in California?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Nice. Let's see. What have you been of that stuff? Because there's a lot of stuff in the book. Or maybe let me back up. You have a school out in Myrtle Beach, or how do you work?
Yeah. Well, I don't have my own building yet, so I have a really awesome garage gym. I train a lot of people one-on-one. I do some group classes in the park
Mm-hmm.
as well. So that's how I'm doing my training these days.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when you say group training, kettlebell training, or is it Systema, or how does that
Oh,
work?
both.
Both.
Yeah.
So in the context of a training, you would be doing both kettlebells and Systema?
Oh, sometimes. Um, that happens. Yeah. No, I have some folks that I'm teaching kettlebells and strength training, and I have folks I'm doing Systema, and occasionally, more with my Systema guys, they'll want to do some kettlebells as part of the training session.
Mm-hmm. And I was asking this because there was a few guys that have been coming training with me, and they were thinking about going and visiting you. So it
Yeah.
was like I, I wanted to get an idea so what I could relate to people about that. I don't know if there's two Systema schools that are the same. Some people train in a park, some people have a couple nights a week at someone else's gym, some people have their own place. So it's kind of all over the board. So that's helpful to understand what you're doing over there.
Yeah. I got a 3-car garage, and more than half of it is my gym.
Nice.
So it's been pretty. There's ample space for, small groups.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any questions? The Lloyd is always with you, Morris. About that. And Lloyd says he has an autographed copy of your book.
Yes, he does.
Cool.
And thank you for that, Lloyd.
Yes, if anybody has questions, please type those in and we'll get to those. Let's see. And just to go over the seminar here with Michael and I is going to be later this month, September 20th and 21st. And what is going on behind the scenes is Michael will be here. Is it the 16th, Michael? Till we talk about that?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you'll be here the 16th of September, and he's going to come hang out for a day, and he's going to train with us. We'll have the Previlo on that Tuesday, so we'll hang out literally on that.
Yes. Quite literally. Yeah.
And then the Friday night before the seminar, we also have our normal practice. So we'll be doing that, which is Systema sauna. We have a wood-fired sauna here, so we'll get that fired up. Have some training. Maybe we can twist Michael's arm a little bit, have him share some stuff before the seminar, and then we'll be training the Saturday and the Sunday following that here at Sovereignty Lab, where Asheville Systema is located.
Cool.
Um,
Looking forward to it.
So, let's see. What concepts? How about, do you have any questions of me for what we'd get into that weekend?
You mean for me? Yes, sure.
Okay.
So, we talk about the tensegrity thing and kind of geek out
Mhm.
on that. But I'm I would like to know what is your primary um, approach for. Is there a particular type of breath work that you use for healing, or is it a spectrum, or is it um, depending on the person, or all the above?
Yeah, that I have this the pieces of the puzzle are moving closer together. Let's put it that way. So there's the breath work piece, there's the strength piece, stretching piece from the Systema side of things, and then I have my body work, which is osteopathically based in nature that doesn't incorporate any breath work. It doesn't incorporate any strength training. It doesn't incorporate it incorporates very little movement, if any.
Hmm.
And it's primarily body work. So you have a person that you work on a table, massage table with them, and you're finding positions of comfort. And in the position of comfort, the neurology changes from a sympathetic fight or flight state to a parasympathetic state. And in that state, when the neurology drops, the tensegrity structure is engaged in a way that creates a soothing unwinding process throughout the rest of the structure. So the body is reorganizing around the comfort that's created in whatever shoulder, neck, lower back, big toe, doesn't matter the part of the body. You can work with the body part in a position of comfort, and the neurology reorganizes around that. So it allows the neurology to drop very quickly and a lot of change to take place in a very short period of time. So that would be considered an indirect approach.
Right.
Direct approach is going to be Systema. You got a tension pattern that's very difficult or very uncomfortable. You're going to put a knuckle, you're going to put an elbow, you're going to put a fist in it, and now the person needs to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And that direct approach, the breath plus the fatiguing of the reflexes at that point of tension is going to let that tension go. And
Right.
that it's valuable in different respects. The limitation of the direct approach is that if a person is in a very elevated state of pain, that they can't even wrap their brain about how to let go of a tension pattern, then it makes it very difficult to use a direct approach when the pain is overwhelming. They're already coming in with an injury, accident, surgery, trauma, something that happened. So it's going to be very difficult to drop the neurology using a direct approach. That's where an indirect approach comes in, creating comfort, getting the neurology to drop. And when it drops enough where the person now has the ability to start using breath work and movement and stretching and things like that, now you could come in with a direct approach and begin using that.
Very cool.
I'm I'm in this place where as the puzzle pieces come closer together, now I'm beginning to integrate the movement with positions of comfort. The stepping, the reflexes in the feet, engaging the reflexes in the feet to release the tension patterns all the way up from the feet to the top of the head. Using how we find physical positions of comfort when we train in Systema as a way of releasing the patterns that are stuck in our neurology. So it's like I'm getting into this really interesting gray area that is so incredibly difficult to articulate because it's like what you were talking about, using the kettlebell as a therapeutic movement. Well, you can
Yep.
use the concept and principles of comfort with that and then allow the release of tension patterns in the physical body. Um, Martin taught a seminar in Durham earlier this year, North Carolina, and
Yeah. I missed it this year. Yeah.
he did this stuff with breath on recreating your structure. And then at the time I was tinkering around with this concept of positions of comfort, and I was doing it with push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and leg lifts, and it shifted the neurology so quickly that I, I blew myself out in the first couple hours of his seminar. I had a difficult time even functioning the second day because it shifted the neurology so quickly. So I'm kind of figuring out where to hit the gas and where to hit the brake when teaching a class in and
Right.
around this, because it's super powerful stuff.
Yeah. Well, most of my systemic training is under Martin. So, a lot of his stuff is, comes through in that book. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And, we'll do something, I know what you're talking about with that work he does. We'll do something kind of similar to that,
Mm-hmm.
um, as well. So, but going back to what you were saying before, the direct versus the indirect, and the structure, and the pressure, and all kinds of things were going through my head as you were saying that. But one thing that kind of stuck is, we do massage in Systema, right?
Yeah.
Um, and most people, when they think of massage, it's very relaxing. You lay there. It's very indirect, but the Systema massage, we know, is a bit different than that. In that I call it active, even though the person receiving the massage is not really doing much except absorbing and accepting. But because of the breath work that we do, that becomes very active,
Mm-hmm.
in that you're simultaneously managing your internal pressure with the breathing, and that pressure it's not just the pressure of the diaphragm or the lungs, right? It goes all the way to the cells.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in there too. And that was astounding to me to realize that we can use our breathing to control pressure at that level. And at the same time, it's doing a massive neurological influence.
Mm-hmm.
And those two things together are, why this, for me, it's why the Systema massage is so powerful, and it produces such significant results for me. It did anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
But it also translates to the way we do strikes in Systema, because there's not much. Yes, there's a difference, but there's a lot of similarities between the massage and doing strikes in Systema.
Mm-hmm.
And the other cool thing, and the breathing directly impacts this, is when we do the strikes in Systema, it's the person giving the strike is meant to be relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we have have this shirt on, less tension, more power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really cool thing when you realize how much the breath has to do with that, because power and strength are more neurological than anything else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Ish. But the neurological part is significant. So, learning how you can truly be relaxed but yet generate an enormous amount of power And the breathing is critical to being able to get really good at that, for me. And the way you do push-ups, and we're definitely going to focus on this. The way you do push-ups is directly related to generating that kind of power, and allowing your breath to control that and build it for you. Yeah, there's a sequence of that we're going to do directly, but then on the receiving end, right? That going back to similarities between all this stuff and tensegrity. One of the core principles of tensegrity, and if you all folks that are watching this now, or maybe will watch it later, aren't familiar with tensegrity, I highly recommend to go look that up. It's touched on in the book a little bit, but there's way more to it. I like to, going off on my own tangent here, I kind of look at, Systema is the art, and tensegrity is the science of it. But anyhow, one of the principles that they've discovered with the tensegrity is, the application of force on the human body. Did we lose? Oh, okay. All right. You're sharing something.
I wanted to bring in, no, I mean, it's really important.
Yeah.
Because this is a really difficult,
yeah. So to just finish the thought while you're doing that, the application of force all the way down to the cellular level, will trigger epigenetic processes to change, the cells at that level. So, yeah, we say strikes are healing at Systema. Well, there is a direct correlation as to why that's happening. Yeah, and that's purely from from the spine. I wish I knew the one page off the top of my head. I would type it in for you, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But the similarities between, Systema as application and kind of tensegrity as theory is, I feel like I learn something new about that every day.
Yeah, it's a fascinating study in terms of how the body translates energy, the energy of a strike, and how, if there's tension, and I'm figuring out this is when there is excess tension in the body, then it's difficult for the energy of a strike, once it's absorbed, to be able to be translated through the body in order to release that tension or release that energy from the strike. So, yeah, it's when looking at the body and looking at Systema and what we're doing through the lens of a tensegrity structure, it's a game changer.
Yep.
So, okay, I'll stop geeking out over body
I found the page. I dropped it in the chat for
Okay.
anyone that would want to go investigate.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, that's extensive. Nice. Yeah, Buckminster Fuller. There you go.
Yeah. But you think of the 4 core principles of Systema, right? And the correlation to that with the tensegrity principles, it's pretty amazing to me, right?
Yeah.
Breathing, relaxation, structure, freedom of movement. Yeah, it's all in there.
Yeah. And that's what really, when I was reading through your book, this was before I reached out to you to talk about this whole seminar, and I got to the part on tensegrity structure. I was like, oh, I got to talk to Michael now. That was the piece that really, all of the things, I was like, oh, this is good information. This is great. On a cellular level, it's changing things. Tensegrity structure. Okay, I got to talk to Michael. So it was great. And he covers that in the book, which is pretty awesome. Um, okay, how's everybody with questions? Anything, anyone? Okay. Michael, one of the things that I wanted to chat about was the work that I've been doing with breath from the aspect of what I've found to get the most benefit from breath work has been doing exercise fully exhaled.
Hmm.
That's been the game changer for me. It's doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, leg lifts, walking, stepping, all of that kind of stuff with an inhale or with patterning the breathing to change it up is great. But the thing that has made, in terms of my nervous system, my neurology dropping the most has been with exercises fully exhaled. And it was a huge difference. Do you want to speak to that in terms of, is there anything you can do with kettlebell work with the breath fully exhaled, or what has been your experience?
So just so I understand what you're saying, when you say fully exhaled, you mean
Mhm.
fully exhaled and then doing a breath hold?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Um, I have not done, I've done very little of that with kettlebells. It's all body weight stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't think that would be a good fit because of the nature of, so a kettlebell is either, it's either ballistic or it's a grind,
Hmm.
depending on which exercise you're doing.
Hmm.
And um, the breathing techniques, remember I said there's there's breathing you do before
Yeah.
preparation, there's
Yeah.
breathing you do during, and then there's breathing you do after. I have not yet used any of the breath holding techniques while I'm doing kettlebell work.
Okay.
So, but that's an interesting idea. I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah.
I I'm still in this fascination space
Hmm.
place with doing the breath hold, just body weight
Yep.
and the amount of internal space, meaning like the tension I have internally drops significantly when I get to the edge of my ability to have the breath hold fully exhaled and
Hmm.
getting into that work. It's tremendous in terms of dropping the tension, and I get down to my very structure of what is the minimal amount I need to do the push up or squat, sit up.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that'd be interesting to hear your when you start tinkering with that with the kettlebells, how that would work.
Yeah. I'll do something there and see what I come up with.
Yeah, and
Um,
this is my understanding of lifting weights, kettlebells or otherwise, that it's important to stabilize the physical body to prevent injury with the proper compression or holding of the breath to
yeah,
stabilize internal organs and the structure in and of itself.
yes. Yeah, so yeah, there's the fractional breathing, the power breathing. There's those are often used in, strength, um,
Mhm.
strength training. Also something called fractional breathing. So, um, but yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, just off the top of my head, and I'm actually gonna seek advice from someone else on that. Is should I? I personally, I wouldn't hold my breath on a ballistic kettlebell movement. I just wouldn't do that. I don't think that would be a good thing to do. Maybe on a grind, but definitely not on, swings or cleans or anything like that. I don't think I would do that.
Could you go over some of those terms? Because I know I'm maybe a little fuzzy on some of those terms, fractional breathing, uh, a grind as opposed to a ballistic exercise,
Yes,
some of those
yeah.
things.
Yeah, so a kettlebell swing, the most basic and basic doesn't mean not good. In fact, the kettlebell swing is probably one of the best exercises you can do. So that's a ballistic movement, right? Because you're starting in, I like to say deadlifts, or excuse me, a kettlebell swing is like a ballistic deadlift. If you know it's a hinge, right? It's a hip hinge. It's not a squat. And the hip hinge is the most powerful movement the human body can do. So, you're starting at like basically at the low end of a deadlift position. You're swinging it back and you're driving it forward from your hips. Your arms really aren't doing anything. So that's except holding on to the bell. So that's very ballistic, right? It's fast. It's all about power. Yeah. Yeah, not the greatest form, but yeah, close enough.
Good enough.
Well, see, that's important, right? Because if you don't have good form on a kettlebell swing, you're going to mess your structure up, and that's not what we want.
Right.
Right. So, like her hands are way too low. Hands should never go below the knee on swing. That's just one thing. I'm not going to critique the picture, but that's so. But again, if we're going to use it for healing and building power and strength, and that's why the structure is so important, to help build the body. A grind is something you've ever heard, a get up or a Turkish get up.
Okay.
Where you start with you lay on the ground with the bell and you go through a sequence of about 6 or 7 different movements to get yourself standing up with the bell over your head. That is a grind. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not, those aren't bad diagrams actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing your comments there, Michael. I agree with I agree with you. Now I would personally I would experiment with doing a breath hold on a get up. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'll let you know what I come up with, but I wouldn't do it on a ballistic move. It's just, it doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, I was just throwing out concepts.
No, it's cool. No, it's great. I like the riff. Yeah. So might come up with something interesting on the grind. Lloyd, yeah.
Some of these would scare the hell out of me, thinking that okay, I don't have enough oxygen to do the thing, and then I get lightheaded and I pass out.
Well, you can always start breathing again. So
good point.
Yeah. But to me, the grind would be like, the one exercise that we do in Systema, where do as many movements as you can on a single breath.
Yeah.
Right. To me, that's as close as we can get to the grind with holding your breath. So, anyhow, I'm going to try it. See how it goes. I'm going to see how it goes. So thanks for the idea.
Sure. Okay. Any anything else you wanted to dig into that? You taught fractional.
Fractional breathing is 2 or 3 or more if you can get it. Sharp inhales while you're doing a ballistic movement. It's, if you're able to do it, it shows that you are internally relaxed enough to be able to breathe that well. There's another saying out there, if you can't breathe well in a position or a movement, then you don't own that position, you don't own that movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if I'm doing my kettlebell swing and it's on, I just finished, the bell is up. So, and as it starts down, if I can do 2 or 3 sharp inhales on the downswing, and I can continue to do that for multiple reps, that's a good indicator that you have really good control of your breath.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
and not just, not just from a diaphragm perspective, from a whole body structure point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that. And then, since we're going there, right, then the other thing is to touch on it. We said, before, during, after. So fractional breathing is the type of breathing to do during. A preparatory exercise is the tension relaxation with breath work.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think that's one of the most powerful, both preparatory and recovery exercises we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I mean by that? That's why, kind of hard to show on this, but if I was going to do that kind of work, I'm going to slowly tense up my arms
Mm-hmm.
to the same period of time that I'm doing my inhale. It's not a rapid, real quick inhale and tense everything up. It's extend my inhale and gradually increase the tension in my arms so that as I finish my inhale, I'm fully tense. And then I reverse that on the exhale. So as I exhale, I'm releasing the tension from my arms at the same pace.
Mm-hmm.
And do that multiple times, and so I do it with the arms, do it with the legs, do it with the midsection. It's a fantastic preparatory exercise to get ready for strength or power work.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yuri.
Sorry. So Lloyd asked about Boiteko breathing. So I'm not extremely familiar with it. I've read about it a little bit. There's some similarities, Lloyd, but it's kind of rigid in what it prescribes, and it's good. It's good stuff. It's helped a lot of people with asthma. But Systema goes way deeper. I mean, I would say Boiteko is a very specific form of breathing to help folks who have physical respiratory issues like asthma and things like that.
Yeah, it looks like there's a specific pattern of I've not heard of it before. And
Yeah.
it's spelled Buteyko.
Right. Yep. So Yuri asked about Pavel. Yeah. So So the kettlebell school that I have been part of for a long time is under Pavel. It started off as Dragon Door, and now it's called Strong First. They, if not to keep promoting the book, I talk about those breathing techniques that they ascribe to in the Strong First world. And but again, it's very focused on tension. It's very focused on strength. They're really good stuff. We already mentioned a couple of them. I think they're great. I think they make a great complement to Systema breathing, and it's basically what I've been doing for the last 8 years, is finding a way to blend them and have them work together. And like I just said, the tense release to do preparatory work, the fractional breathing or the power breathing as you're doing the exercise, and then the recovery breathing, which for me is almost always gradient breathing or a form of gradient breathing. I mean, that's the formula right there. Putting them all together and getting the maximum benefit from both the different schools of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I was actually fortunate enough to meet Pavel a couple times. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Michael, were you in Systema in 2005 when they had the Ike Expo out in LA?
No, I didn't discover Systema till 2006.
Got it. Uh, so Pavel was at the Ike Expo in
Yep.
2005 in LA, and he met Michael and Vlad there. And I remember Michael working with Pavel to show him the breathing with the pushing, and it was very uh, Michael was very careful in his strikes with him
Mhm.
because it was if you've ever felt Michael or of course Vlad or even Martin, whatever it is, when they hit you and you don't have the breathing quite right, it's quite debilitating.
Yep. Yes.
So
Yep.
yeah. Cool. Let's see. We're coming up about like an official hour when we got everything working. Was there any other questions you had around the healing part of things?
Is that to me or to everybody?
To everybody,
Okay.
you, Michael, and specifically if there was anything in and around that.
Well, for me, I know it has helped me heal myself a lot, but you as a professional, a professional in the world of healing, I'm really eager to learn where you can take this.
Yeah, that I'd like when you're here, I'd like to I'd like to do a before and after on maybe an injury or a kettlebell swing or something that you're doing
Hmm.
that maybe you have restriction with. Let's say a Turkish get up and there's some restriction in the shoulder.
What? I'm
We
telling some of my best friends are black.
we 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 do a Solomon's here. So
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, or maybe you remember me saying it. Yeah, this right shoulder of mine has been it's been through the ringer.
sure. So there could be restrictions in the shoulder itself. I was actually working on a client this morning that they had a neuroma in their foot. So in their right foot, and it was causing restriction in their left shoulder. So they had two bones in their feet that had a small growth on it. And because of how they were walking was creating tension in the right leg crossing over in the pelvis to the psoas on the opposite side, causing a restriction at the last thoracic vertebrae, creating pain when they'd reach up in their
Yep.
shoulder. So you have a very dynamic thing that's going on. And to say, let's work on that shoulder, let's figure out where that pattern is going in other places in the body, release that pattern, and then go back and try the kettlebells to
Yep.
see how it changes the freedom in the kettlebell swing or wherever the restriction is. So
Yeah.
that would be kind of fun to figure that out.
Yep. That sounds perfect.
Actually, that might be kind of cool for Sunday to see if people have restrictions that they notice from Saturday.
Hmm.
Kettlebell movements, whatever you take us through, difficulty with a push up or squat, feeling in their hip or whatever it is, and figure out in time how to release those patterns that they could then try the exercise right after.
Yeah, and then that's where the whole fascia and tensegrity part comes in too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So it's working with the direct approach, and then where the direct approach and the breath and all that stops, below that is the indirect approach to change the neurology to free up the muscular pattern, the skeletal pattern, the wherever that the fascia is connecting all of that. That's the restriction in the movement.
Yep.
Cool. Let's see. Well, that's kind of fun. Let me drop a link to the seminar where people can sign up. Let me see. Okay, so we have I'll share my screen here. And I'll drop the event in the chat. This is the seminar with Michael and I. September 21st and 22nd. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday. And let's see. You can get 1 or 2 day tickets. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be.
Yeah, let me drop the link into the chat. And then, like I said, Michael's going to come in, or like we were talking about earlier, Michael's going to come in on the 16th. So he'll be training with us on the Parravano, September 16th. We'll do Systema, and then afterwards we do Parravano, and then that Friday before the seminar, we have our normal training on the 19th, 6:30 to 9:30. We do Systema and sauna. So, oh, and Michael, we started a new class. I think I told you about that. We're going to be doing the bodywork stuff, 5:30 to
Right.
6:15 before Systema.
Yes, you did.
So, well, cool. Well, I don't see any other questions. Michael, do you have anything else you want to plug? You got your book, you train out of your garage, and you do privates, sometimes in the park with some groups. How do they
Yeah.
get in touch with you? What is, if they were to?
Yeah, so I was just gonna. Oh, it did. It didn't do a clean link. It did the yeah. That's my website. But I'm also on Facebook, Instagram. I think everyone on this call knows how to get a hold of me. But
Yeah, and Solomon that just joined us, he's going to be at the seminar.
outstanding.
He's already signed up.
Look forward to meeting you, Solomon.
So, well, cool. If anybody has anything they want
My
to,
apologies, Bill. You as well. I look forward to meeting you as well, sir.
Oh, she flooded the basement.
I'm still at work. That's why I'm going through what I'm going through. My apologies.
no worries, Solomon. So, well, cool. I think we're good for today. Yeah, Michael, you're on Facebook. They could find us through a number of different ways if they aren't connected with us already. And I'll post this. I'll get this downloaded, and we'll post this up on the on YouTube or something. Get it in a shareable link that we can send out for people who'd like to watch the replay.
Sounds good.
Okay, sir. Well, we pulled it off.
Yeah, a little bumpy start, but we got there.
Cool. Awesome, Michael. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate your time. Thanks
Yeah,
everyone
Andrew.
else for showing up. Christina for your help with the technology. Yuri, Solomon, and Michael and Morris for being here as well. And awesome, everybody. Well, I look forward to seeing everybody soon.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Okay.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
So,
Bye-bye.
she got Friday Saturday. So.